Guys, can we hang out?
Yes, I need to spill everything.
Okay, come over.
Numa, my friend আসছে.
So for the past few episodes, like the past two episodes, we've been talking about boys, which is not very girl boss of us. So let's talk about us and how we got to this point. Where do you guys want to start?
I mean, I met you grade 3 te. And then
Right, but তখন I wouldn't say our story started, right?
no, our story started way later. I think we were part of the same friend circle, but we were never really friends per se.
Were you part of the friend circle?
Right out the bat, like you got no chill, like right out the bat. Like, you're supposed to ease people into it. No, no,
Right.
shots fired. Okay.
I have no idea what's going on here because I joined grade 4A and then I was just there.
It was
I
the
wasn't
same,
even part of the
right?
friend.
I was gonna say, I don't think there was any difference. It's just it kept happening until like grade 6, huh? Grade 7 again.
Right.
I'm like, you know what? I've had enough of these girls.
Yeah.
Time to hang
And
out with the
you had
losers.
me too. What?
Time to hang out with the losers.
Who said that? Yeah, so let me give them a little context. So I get to Jerfather class in grade 3. কেন get to কারণ আমি একটু extra smart ছিলাম তো আমি একটু double promotion পেয়েছি বুঝেছো তো anywho there were these 6, 7, 8, I think there were like 7 other girls. I was like the 8th girl in the class এরকম একটা জিনিস and right off the bat I wasn't part of the group. Like, I was excluded. Maybe it had something to do with my personality. Maybe they were jealous. I don't know. Um, Key, tell me I'm
Maybe
wrong.
we were jealous.
Of my intelligence. Yeah, so I joined. I like desperately tried to fit in to the friend circle that Jerfa was already an established member of, because she knew the other girls for like Aroki last 2-3 বছর ধরে, if not more.
Right, yeah.
And I desperately tried to fit in, but I never did. Onek ঝামেলা হতো, we would be like katti friend and all of those all the time. And then এভাবে grade 3 পার হয়ে যায়. And then Meher joins in grade 4.
And then I joined grade 4A and I still remember Kelam classe aste these girls are coming in. I'm like, oh, like new start. And mind you, I just moved to Dhaka and I'm like, oh, I can't think it. Everything gets better. Life gets better from here. I'm about to meet really amazing girls. So I go to class and I still remember this girl. Let's call her
Jerf, our evil twin sister.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Let's call her that. So I remember at my first date there, I'm sitting with Jara, her evil twin sister. And she's being very nice. I'm like, oh, amazing, amazing. And then there's like few other girls on the beach. I don't know who. I think Numa was like Dui seat piche or something. And they're all talking. I was like, oh, they know each other, amazing. And I'm gonna blend in really well. There were two other girls who came in new with me. Fast forward to a few days later. Me, evil twin sister, two new girls, and another old girl. The five of us, we are hanging out lunch break. But one thing I knew from the start, I was not gonna hang out with this one girl named Jarefa.
With me.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought she
Yeah.
was gonna say my name. I'm like,
No, তোমার turn আসবে দাঁড়াও.
No, but I was very lucky. I kept to my main person at the time, and I was like,
She rolled her
You know?
eyes at me. On day
because
one,
I
she
didn't
rolled her
care
eyes at
about
me, and I
you,
was like,
Tokhono.
Jerfa didn't care
she
about
didn't care about
other than
anyone.
her evil twin sister.
Yeah, she didn't care
Is
about
that
anyone.
not how I'm supposed to be? Like, okay, my priority is this one person who I'm really close with at this time, and rest of like Manujon can go to like
Jerifa, shut the fuck up.
Harme
Anyway.
jai. আমরা harme jai.
So she rolls her eye. Because I mean, normally, I think I tried saying hi or something. Because I was already pretty cool with twin sister. And I was like, oh, the twin sister soldier, they should let me go say hi. I say hi. Bakira, they're like, hi, hi, hi. Jerifa rolls her eyes at me. I was like, okay, okay, what's going on? Even I said hi to Numa, and she was like, hi, whatever. I didn't know, oi, higher piche, what's hiding? But like,
I'm just catching strays left and right.
so I was like, oh, I'm never fucking with this girl ever again. I am never even speaking to her. She can go die for all I care. Now, কয়েকদিন পরে, I'm like constantly hanging out with evil sister and her troops.
Crazy.
Also, I pulled a stunt grade 4A after like few days after I joined DPS. I might have invited everyone to my birthday party.
I want to say the
Eight
story.
months. 8 months prior.
I want to tell the story. We are talking about August. This is just the start of the session, grade 4. New girl. Evil twin sister সাথে বসে আছে. I think it was history class. And suddenly, Meher goes, do you want to come to my birthday party? And now I, being the loner, desperately trying to fit in girl that I was, I'm like, of course. Like, was I friends with Meher? No. But was I gonna turn down a birthday party invite? Absolutely not. These were like, Bolina, Uje, Oma Bosher Chad, look at me using Vatara. Like me getting invited to a birthday party. So I'm like, of course. And then I get excited. I'm like, when is it? Thinking it's gonna be in sometime in the next month. She goes, April. I go, what the fuck? We're in August. Like, what?
I was pretty excited ওর জন্য because she told me এটা Disney themed হবে আমরা এক একটা Barbie princess হয়ে সাজিয়ে আসতে পারবো না. I was like,
That
oh,
was the
nice,
theme.
okay.
Jerifa, don't even speak to me right now. Do not even speak to me. She did not come to the birthday party.
I just want to say, Meher birthday party is a chapter I never want to reread. Like, it was so bad. Like, you know how Meher during episode 1, she said, I know exactly what happened. Numa was sitting here, Jeffa was sitting here, because you don't forget dramatic events that fast. I can recount every single second that happened during Meher April, their birthday.
Let me tell you what happened to me on my own birthday. This is part of the story I was telling. It has a lot to do with Numa, but we're not gonna go Numa detail, okay? Let me tell you the other part of the story. I'm a birthday. I invite all the girls from my class. Jerifa does not show up. Me inviting her was my attempt of, "Acha, you know what? She rolled her eyes, whatever, fuck ass."
See,
But Jerifa, let me finish.
আমার
Let me
phone
no
ছিল
let
না,
me
trust তখন আমার সাথে
আচ্ছা,
জিনিস হয়ে
আচ্ছা।
যাচ্ছিল অনেক কিছু.
কি জিনিস তোমাদের কি জানি ট্রাবল ইন প্যারাডাইস ইভিল টুইন সিস্টার কিছু করছে তোমাকে মানে ইউ ওয়ান্ট টু টক তোমার সাথে জিনিস হচ্ছে you know আমার সাথে
আচ্ছা,
কি
no, no,
হচ্ছিল
no.
social
Listen,
exclusion
listen.
that's what's happening to me
আমি বলি, and I felt really bad for Numa ওই দিনের পরে এর জন্য, like I never deliberately started a fight with her ever. Because acha, so I invite everyone from the class, and everyone is in all the girls, and they all show up, and I'm like, Jerifa Spinna, whatever. And then they're all cornering me on my own birthday. We are all sitting together because I remember অনেক রাত হয়ে যাইতেছিল, and they were like, oh, we gotta leave somewhere, তাতে dinner খেয়ে ফেলি. Dinner খেয়ে ফেললো, and then we were like, acha, I think Numa আসবে, because we talked to your mom, and auntie was like, হ্যাঁ আমরা রাস্তায় আমরা জ্যামে বনানি অনেক জ্যাম or whatever. তো আমরা জ্যামে পড়ে আসছে, and then আসতে একটু দেরি হবে. I was like, আচ্ছা Numa আসুক, তারপরে আমরা কেক কাটবো. By this point, the girls, they don't know Numa is invited. They don't know Numa's invited. They hear me speak on the phone with Numa, and Numa's like, hey, I'm here, Ashchi. And they all look at me. They're like, Numa to say. And I'm like, hey. And they're like, Meher, we are literally gonna get up and leave if like Numa shows up ekhane ekhon. And I'm like, what? They're like, hey,
kind of
Numa
was
chode
bad,
if she
okay?
sets foot. Yeah, this is like, I felt so bad. I was like, what is wrong with you?
ভালো হয়েছে আমি ছিলাম না. I would have been part of a gang, then I don't want to be এইসবের মধ্যে.
They were like, Meher, and all of them, not like Arjun, not just evil twin sister. They were speaking on behalf of evil twin sister, okay? They were like, Meher, if Numa sets foot ekhane, we're literally gonna get up and leave. Tomar, like, literally, fuck your birthday. They said it. They said it. The language was used. Like, fuck your birthday. আমরা কেক তো কাটবো না এখন, whatever, whatever, আমরা এখন literally উঠে চলে যাবো. I was like, dude. And then I started like bargaining. I was like, I literally invited her. Oh, ashbe আসতেছে, and then চলে আসছে already রাস্তায়. What do you mean? So এইসব কথা কাটাকাটি হচ্ছে হঠাৎ করে. I look on my side. Entrance এর দিকে. Numa walks in. They're all looking at me. I remember. I don't know if you remember Numa. Obviously you do, but like no one was speaking to anyone, and then I had to like speed run the whole thing. I was like, acha cake kati, and like they're all gonna be gone.
Yeah.
Cake ta katsi, and then they all left, obviously, and then I think I sat with Numa while she like had dinner,
Ate.
because late, because ashte ashte I remember rat 10:30 pone 11 এরকম বেজে গেছিল. And then we just cut the cake, and then they all leave, and then I sat with Numa. She like had her food, and then tarpore we like talked a little, and then she left. Tarpore we wrapped up the party and left. But that was just so like Numa. I cannot even start to like explain how she might have felt, because she obviously felt like really bad.
I was gonna say, so this is like what, grade 4? How old was I? Like, we're talking 2014 dike. I know,
Yeah,
2014,
yeah.
2015.
20,
I was like
2015.
9 or 10. 2015. Okay, I
Yeah.
was 10. It's so weird. I am like 20 now. This is Dosh Watcher Age, but I remember exactly like what happened, and I thought I was over it. Of course, I'm over it. Like, I've healed Aishay, all of that. But as I'm listening to you tell the story, I don't know. It just, there's this heart when it bang in my
Hurting
chest.
me.
I'm like,
Yes.
I'm like, ouch. Like, what did this girl do? Like, Ute, that's what I keep telling you guys. Jay, I can't believe what 10-year-old me would have done. যে এরকম করে, like, the other girls just like excluded
Yeah.
it, and they were just so
Right.
mean. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, sure, I'm not saying I was an angel, huh? I did fucked up shit, but like, for you to just completely exclude a girl like that out front আমার মুখের উপরে তো কোট, মানে ওই birthday they did not speak to me whatsoever. They were like giggling, and it was so obvious they were talking about me, laughing
Yeah,
about me.
yeah.
But like, the saying this shit behind my back, and I have moved past that group, but it's just,
You
I'm
never
like,
really move
ouch.
past stuff like this. It's like part of you just like feels bad for your younger self.
Exactly, precisely. আমার current আমার কষ্ট লাগছে. I'm like, younger me didn't deserve this, আমার
Yeah,
এখনই
yeah,
শুনে
yeah.
আমার কষ্ট লাগছে যে, oh my god, যে এইসব বলেছে. And I remember how terrible I felt তোমার birthday সময়, জানো মেহের, because for some context, I was the only person যে বনানীতে থাকতো, আর বাকি সবাই they lived in Uttara, and so everyone got to the party on time, and I knew from the get-go they didn't like me because আমার তখন ওদের সাথে একটা ঝামেলা চলছিল. And but the only reason I showed up is because like Meher সাথে আমার ঝামেলা চলছিল না. Meher invited me, and I'm not about to tell my mom যে, oh, your daughter is being excluded by her friends, like, school is, she has no friends. I'm not going to tell my mom that. So I show up to the party. My mom has no idea, and because we couldn't find the restaurant, that's why we were so late.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember walking in and everyone staring at me, and then no one's talking. And then my mom, I think, walks in behind me, and I'm like, at least for her sake, I need to show that these girls are my friends. I'm like, hi, Aishay. And I think they just get out like a meek hi. No one talks. And সবার তো by that point খাওয়া দাওয়া শেষ, and I remember আমি একা একা খাচ্ছিলাম, and then Meher was the only one who was next to me and talking to me and keeping me company, and I was fucking humiliated. I was heartbroken. And you genuinely don't move on from shit like that. Like, you forget
Yeah.
about it after a time. But Akon, as you guys are bringing it up, I'm like, fuck, I remember how that felt. Because I still feel that for the inner child,
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, that was my soft
But-
story.
No, but ওটার কয়েকদিন পরে I think they put me through a similar situation, because you know how I told you, Jay. By that point, we were hanging out lunch breaks and whatever free times and I think আমার birthday party 1-2 মাস পরে I think they started talking to Numa again, because they were like আবার সবাই একসাথে hang out করতেছে whatever. হঠাৎ করে একদিন I walk in স্কুলে, And suddenly, evil twin sister goes, "Oh, Meher, I don't think we wanna be friends with you anymore." I was like, "Oh, oh, okay, sure." তারপরে
হ্যাঁ, ওদের
I
না
obviously
একটা জিনিস আমি বলবো ওই গ্রুপটার, ওদের না একটা টেন্ডেন্সি ছিল যে প্রত্যেক দিন or like প্রত্যেক week they would wake up and they would find a new target that they wanted to
oh
bully and
oh
like
hundred
exclude
percent
ওই week-এ,
100%.
বুঝছো?
And then ওইটার পরে না remember how like I was cornered, like not even cornered, but like pushed to the side. Akbar like tossed me out, right? And I was just there. I was sitting. That was the entirety of grade five. Grade five, I remember every time I would go up to one of the girls or like try to talk to one of them, because I didn't have any friends. Grade five, grade five, I think that's when kind of grade five much kind of ended. The guy started hanging out with Jarifa. তার আগে পর্যন্ত I was literally I would literally just hang out with anyone who would be free, because I didn't have like proper friends. And I remember I would go up to one of them if they were like not doing anything, because I wouldn't want to bother them, but I would go up to one of them and I would like be like, "Hey, like, do you want to whatever, just like sit together or like talk?" And they would be like, "Yeah, yeah." And then we would sit for 5 minutes and then they would act busy, and I would take the hint. I would get up and leave. And then you know how they were like kind of tight with all the guys classer, and then they would like start giggling with the guys, and I would just know they were like bitching about me. And I could like one of them can come up and be like, "No, like you weren't even that important যে তোমাকে নিয়ে এভাবে bitch করবো." Like, sure, but like ওই momented for 5 seconds you had that topic to talk about, and you did, but like it stuck to me. তোমার মনেও থাকবে না what you did or like whatever, but it stuck to me, and that went
Meher,
on for
I'm
few months.
with you on this one. This is what I said, Jay. They would like look at you and they would giggle. Like they would make eye
Yeah.
contact. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember,
Yeah. Yeah.
Eta, I learned about this grade 5-এ. How do I know this? Because আমার সাথে এটা করতো যখন when I would have that off period with them, they are not speaking to me for this 1 month, and ভাবো আমরা lunch break-এ বাইরে and they're as a group, and then আমি একা একা হাঁটছি. You know, I'm awkward. I'm like, I don't know. I don't have any friends. So I would just walk around একা একা. They would look at me. They would make sure that I know
Oh.
that they see me and then they're laughing. They're giggling. And এটা ওরা করতো. And it hurt me. And মাঝখানে I'm like, are they thinking about me? এই সে, I'm pretty sure they are. তখন তো আর এসব প্রজেকশনের ব্যাপারে জানতাম না. But a part of me was also like, what if they're not? You know? But then I remember there was this one time when I was back in with the circle, and তখন Meherke was the one that was like excluded. And I remember they were like, do you want to like, I don't think they used the word like bully Meher or anything, but the action essentially meant je, they wanted to look at Meher, make eye contact with her, and then start laughing to show her je, we are talking about her. And I feel so bad admitting to doing this right now, but again, the moments when I was part of the group was so rare and precious for me. I'm like, I will do anything to fit in, even though tik ek maas age I received the same treatment, so I know exactly how Meher felt or Meher is feeling in the moment. In that moment, আমি কি করলাম? I joined in with those girls and I laughed at her. So, in a way, I feel like I'm no better than them.
But then again, I feel that's not, that wouldn't be your fault, because like if you went through the same thing and then all you wanted was just to be accepted, so you did what you had to in that moment. But like that kept happening, and then
No, I just want to say one thing. এই যে নুমার মতন যখন ও গ্রুপের পার্ট ছিল, she felt like এখন she feels bad যে এটা হলো। আমিও I would like to apologize for this, because তখন আসলে I I was just ignorant to this. Like আমি দেখছিলাম যেগুলা হচ্ছে, but I was like আমার চোদে না আসলে, মানে অন্যজনের সাথে কি হচ্ছে, how they're treated. I was like, হোক আমার কি, as long as I'm fine, you know.
Yeah.
তখন something like that was going in my mind. So এখন I realized nah, that is
I will say, I think this is one thing about Jerfa. She was never like an active person in all of this like bullying and ganging up against a person. She was very like passive. She was there, which she was part of the group, but she wasn't the one actually just like doing it. ঠিক আছে, like আমাকে যদি জিজ্ঞেস করতো যে তুমি কাকে হেট করো ওই গ্রুপের মধ্যে, I would never say Jerifar name top 3-তে or top 5 as a matter of fact, because she was
yeah.
just, I hate saying this, but like almost like a background character in that group.
Yeah.
বুঝেছো?
Right.
So
Yeah,
no hard feelings, Sherifa.
and then you know how you guys went through it and then joined the group and then did it to other people. তোমাদের ওই whole arc টা ছিল, but I never had that. It was just I was part of the group. I never participated in the stuff that they were doing, but I was just there. And then তারপরে after a point they kicked me out, and then I was the one who was like who went through it for a while, and then I just like completely sidelined myself and stopped interacting with them overall. So grade 5 ended. I start for some reason I don't know how, but I start like talking to Jarifa and we end up becoming friends. I don't know,
Kind of, I
it
would
just
say.
happened. No, no, তখনও we were just like sitting একসাথে হচ্ছে স্কুলে যেতাম and then
হ্যাঁ,
একসাথে হচ্ছে বসতাম, we were sitting and then class করে we would leave. We were not actively like trying,
yeah.
right? It was just oh like a nice person to have pashe whatever. And I
I
was
think
still
আমাদের actual friendship started like grade 6 ওই
six
একটা physics ক্লাসে, right?
yeah
ওইখানে let me
so
tell you. আচ্ছা, okay, so basically grade 6 it was Hansar class. আর তখন এত বড় একটা মাছি আমার চুলের ভিতরে ঢুকে যায়, and তারপর কোনোভাবে ক্রাশও হয়ে যায় ওটা আমার চুলের ভিতরে, and then I was so disgusted যে আমি নিজের চুল থেকে মাছি বের করতে পারছিলাম না। So আমার পাশে কে ছিল? মেহের, and I was like প্লিজ আমাকে একটু হেল্প করো। আর তখন স্যার বকা দিচ্ছে কিন্তু আমাদেরকে, স্যার was like কি করছো
she
তোমরা
started
দুইটা মেয়ে, তোমার চুল
screaming
টানাটানি
class.
বন্ধ করো। হ্যাঁ, but I was like oh my god, আমার এখানে একটা মাছি আটকায় আছে। But Meher still kept, pulling it out. And তখন mentally I made a note. I was like, this bitch was with me in my worst time. তোকে আর ছাড়া যাবে না। So I think ওই moment I just latched onto her and I was like, okay, this is for life এখন। Yeah.
Trauma bonded, বুঝছো?
মাছি bonded.
So grade 6 এখানে I start seeing Jerifa less of a side character and more like an actual person, আগে she was always like an extension of the group, and এখন I started seeing her as an individual because I and Jerifa, like I think at one point we both got tired of how disposable that group made us feel because of that YouTube channel, remember?
Exactly.
Oh,
হ্যাঁ, ওই SGGH, that was the breaking point I think আমাদের জন্য। আমাকে I think point blank ask করেছিল যে do you see a future with the channel and everything, and I said no. And তারপর থেকে no, I think I was asked যে তুমি কাকে support করো, নুমাকে, because you wanted to like move away, and then they were like or আমাদেরকে, but in my mind it translated as like do I want to continue with the YouTube channel or do I want to leave? So I was like yeah, I support Numa, I don't see কোথাও এটার পয়েন্টটা কি আসলে। আর তারপর থেকে it was just completely cut off ওখান থেকে। And at that point I feel like I was pretty okay with that too, like ততক্ষণে আমার attachmentটা সরে গিয়েছিল ওদের কাছ থেকে।
Mhm.
So it was like it is what it is.
Yeah. And so তখন grade 6 Jerifa and we do this stunt. Like we were very into like Pretty Little Liars তখন, and we pulled this whole stunt against that group, like me and Jerifa mastermind the
that
whole
was
thing.
you too.
Oh, newsflash. Yeah, it was the two of us.
I did not
Um,
know. I just knew something was going on. Then like the group was panicking, but I didn't know for what. And I was like, I want to know what's going on. And I'm watching stuff dure theke, and at one point I think Evil Twin Sister goes, Meher, was that you? I was like, me? Girl, I don't even know what's going on. I don't know what those cheats. I don't even know what that says. They're like, Meher, was that you? Achke, I literally found out right now Jade was you too.
It was. I will say, grade 4, I wasn't evil. Grade 6, I was evil. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
you fuck
Yeah,
with
I
me,
know.
I fuck with you back. I think it's like grade 6, it's like my confidence started building up. And তখন I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna stand up to these bullies, these fuck ass mean girls. I have had enough of their shit. And so I started standing up and I started doing shit, and like I'm gonna give them a taste of their own medicine. And I remember ওই সময় they were very perplexed. They were like bamboozled. They're like, what is happening? Because I got to know some information that they said about me and Jerifa. ঠিক আছে, ওদের নিজেদের মধ্যে।
হ্যাঁ, I think we found
Yes.
a chat বা কিছু একটা ওদের।
Yes.
You found
So
ওদের একটা chat.
I
হ্যাঁ।
found the chat. So I remember একদিন I was hanging out with them, ঠিক আছে, with the group. Jerifa wasn't there. And তখন তো সবার iPads ছিল। আমাকে একজন iPad দিয়ে কি জানি আমাকে বললো যে either like গান চেঞ্জ করতে or hangouts এ কাউকে টেক্সট করতে something. So আমাকে ওই মেয়েটা ওর iPadটা দিল, তো আমি না ওই আইপ্যাডটা স্ক্রোল করতে করতে হ্যাংআউটসে চলে গেলাম, ঠিক আছে? হ্যাংআউটসে গিয়ে আমি স্ক্রোল করছি, অ্যান্ড তখন আমি দেখি একটা গ্রুপ চ্যাট যেখানে বাকি মেয়েরা আছে, বাট আই এম লাইক, I don't think I'm in that group chat. And I think I remember because it just very explicitly, মানে গ্রুপ চ্যাটের নামই ছিল সামথিং লাইক নুমা ছাড়া বা সামথিং, যে Numa hate club. I'm making this up, but like I forgot the name, but it was obvious from the title যে I wasn't there and this was against me. So I click on it, obviously, like who wouldn't want to know আমি কোথায় main character. তো তখন আমি ক্লিক করলাম, and তারপরে আমি দেখি যে they were like bitching about me because of some things I did about the YouTube channel. I'm like, তোমরা এটা করছো, এটা করছো. I had some complaints about the YouTube channel that we created. And then তখন they bitched about me, and they bitched about Jerifa too. And I remember, I don't know if I took a screenshot of that and sent it to me. কিছু একটা.
I think you did, because I remember
I think I
seeing
did.
the text too.
হ্যাঁ,
Right.
because I'm like, I need Jerifa. See, this is how fast my mind works. তখন I'm like, I need to show this to Jerifa. I need concrete proof because আমি দেখছি Jerifa's not going to believe it. So I take a screenshot. ওর অ্যাকাউন্ট থেকে আমি নিজেকে পাঠানোর পরপরই আমি ওর অ্যাকাউন্ট থেকে মেসেজটা ডিলিট করে ফেলি. So she doesn't know that I have seen this and I've sent it to myself. Okay, ঠিক আছে. And then after that, we cook up a revenge plan. We're like, we're going to get these bitches back. So we sent out these chits. Like আমার Microsoft Word এ আমি বসে বসে লিখে এই চিটসগুলো ওদের লকারের মধ্যে ঢুকাই দিতাম। কি থাকতো এই চিটসে? It would be very vague things, like very Pretty Little Liars.
Not that serious, honestly.
It wasn't
Yeah,
that serious. It was just like, oh, we know যে তোমরা কার ব্যাপারে কি বলছো, কি খারাপ কথা বলছো, যে you guys aren't really friends. Because তখন মুখে মুখে they were friends with me. This is why, I did this whole thing. যে মুখে মুখে we are friends. You're giving me your iPad and shit, and then আমার পিঠ পিছনে you're backbiting. I'm gonna get you back. So that's what we did. We would send these shits like, oh, we know you're not faithful or honest. তোমার ফ্রেন্ডদের সাথে trustworthy এসব. Yeah, so ওসব সব করতাম আমরা.
I think that's how you and Jerifa became close, grade 6.
That's how we
Not
first
even
not
became.
really.
Yeah.
I
Started
don't
like
think we
not
became
even
close,
close.
এখানে.
Like started like kind of
Hanging out one on
Yes.
one.
hanging out. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
That kind of, I think that
Yeah.
kind of got to my skin because I was like
Right.
very, because yeah, it did. Because me and Jerifa, you know how like me and her got close grade 5 to 6 transition, but Jerifa was constantly complaining about the girls, including Numa, because Numa was a part of it. Tokono. And suddenly I see Jerifa hanging out with Numa, and I'm like, what's going on? And I'm like, I was jealous. I was like very protective, right? And I was like, oh, she's gonna get hurt again because Oto shuru theke
Oh my god, very bodyguard energy. She's gonna get hurt again. What are you, her boyfriend?
fuck off. So, and then I didn't like Numa. Grade 6 ticket, Jerifa and Numa started hanging out and whatever, and I'm like,
Please,
oh,
your hate
no.
for her was nothing compared to the hate she had for you, grade 7.
Oh, I
I
know.
was gonna say.
No. And then that goes on. Grade 7. Numa, do you want to talk about grade 7?
Grade 7. Now let me say my version because I only have positive memories from it. That's when Jerifa and I became friends. I think right from the start, I would say.
Right.
Kano Jani, I don't know, but we start sitting together and we become like good friends. But I hated Meher. Like, Jerifa যেরকম Chihuahua number 1 hater, আমি ছিলাম Meher number 1 hater.
Really like
I don't know. But I hated her. And
Why?
I was so mad that Jerifa was friends with Meher. I'm like, Maniki, like, I understand that she became friends with Meher before she became friends with me, but like, now I'm here, like, mehuna,
That was me, grade 6. Why is she friends with Numa? And I used to tell her, I was like, get rid of her. I mean, literally, I would tell Jerifa, hey, hello, whatever, get rid of her now. Sheesh. And then it went on grade 7 porjanto, and then y'all like kept becoming more like better friends. And I was like, oh, whatever.
Oh, because we kind of arekta jinish bolbo. The reason I think I became better friends with Jerifa is because you were out of the picture, Meher. Tomar section change hoye
Honestly,
giyechilo.
now I wanted to be friends with you at that point of time. I mean,
Oh.
that's why I pulled out my mastermind and was stunned, right?
You should talk about that.
Right. Okay. So basically, Numa And I agreed with the philosophy 100%. So ও আমাকে একদিন ক্যাফেটেরিয়াতে বলে, oh, I don't see the point of dating এখন, like we are just in grade 6 7, so it's never gonna last, so এখন মানে রিলেশনশিপে ঢুকে মানেটা কি? So I was like, exactly, that is exactly how I feel about relationships. But এই কথাটা, এই কনভারসেশন না ও পুরা ভুলে যায়, and তারপরে we're having like পুরা একটা similar conversation আবার, and she's like, what's your opinion about relationships? And আমি word to word ও যেটা আমাকে বলছিল ওটা আমি আবার ছেড়ে দিই আবার। I'm like, oh yeah, like এখন তো ছোট বয়সে করে লাভ কি? And then and I think তখন it clicked for her too, for me, and I could see it, ওর চোখের মধ্যে I could see it like click, and I was like, oh, okay, nice.
No, if you could see, like I had in that moment, I had like heart eyes in front of my, when I'm like, oh, soulmate. This is, I'm like, I love soul ties. Like, what do you mean, word for word? Amar Jeta, my stance on this. You shared the same one. I was amazed. I'm like, this girl is gonna be my ride or die. I found my person, and I thought it was coming genuinely from inside of her. This was her true opinion. So imagine my surprise when 2 years or 3 years down the line, when she had me locked down and engaged, বুঝছো? তখন she's like, oh, Numa, remember? তুমি আমাকে এটা বলছিলা, guess what? I felt so tricked. I felt manipulated, bro. Like, I felt what Meher felt, episode 2, but sorry. Anywho, you wanna say why you think grade 7 was a bad experience for you?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Grade
It was
7.
a
Oh.
bad experience for me too. Acha. So let me tell you why it was bad for me. So তখন তো Numa was extremely possessive. She literally gave me an ultimatum. She was like, either Meher or me. আর তখন I was like, there's no way I'm choosing anyone. যদি কারো প্রবলেম হয়ে দূরে চলে যেতে চায়, that's their matter. But Numa না ছাড়বে না কিছু করবে, খালি বলে বেড়াবে আমাকে যে হ্যাঁ ছাড়ো ছাড়ো ছাড়ো। This went on for so long যে সে আমাকে একবার মিষ্টি ম্যাম, আমাদের যেটা কাউন্সিলর ছিল, তার কাছে আমাকে নিয়ে যায়, and then we sit down পুরো I think একটা লাঞ্চ ব্রেক, আর তারও we took পরের ক্লাসের কয়েকটা টাইমও, and then we went down this whole একটা deep conversation with মিষ্টি ম্যাম, and I feel like মিষ্টি ম্যাম kind of took আমার side. She was like, why are you being so possessive? না এরকম কিছু বলে নাই, she was more like, what if মেহের ওকে না নিয়ে যায় but অন্য কিছু নিয়ে যায়, would you be okay with that? And you
অন্য
were like,
কিছু, like
yeah,
what,
I'm okay
death?
with that. I don't know, কিছু একটা হতেই পারে life. And then I remember I was like, this makes sense. But তারপরে এই bitchটা
Personally,
আসে
this doesn't make
dismissal
sense.
time-এ।
And like Mishti Ma'am
Really?
was just spewing bullshit, bro. Like, what the fuck?
She
Exactly.
that's all she's ever been doing, Numa.
God. Like,
No,
what?
I liked her advice তখন কিন্তু I felt like she could
হ্যাঁ,
see me kinda.
Yeah. Joyful
so
likes
it's
anyone
like,
who's on her side, butcho.
of
Uncontested.
course.
God.
That's not the end of Numa Tales. সে তারপরে আমাকে, see, এখন she's feeling hurt যে মেহের আমার সাথে আছে and all, so she wants to hurt me back. How will she do that? We had this other Englishy friend, let's call her English, okay? I mean, her nickname was that. So এখনো ইংলিশকে আমার সাথে একটা who knows me better contest করায়, and I swear to God, ওই questions were rigged. ওইসব questions were tailored so that I fail and that English gets better, marks. তারপরে ultimately I remember it was, I think, neck to neck না, যাচ্ছিল ভালো, পরে it went downhill, and I was তখন অনেক sad. Like I was trying to act যে, oh, it's whatever, মানে আমি care করি না, but like it was actually getting to me. But হ্যাঁ, তখন I lost that test. I think এটা 20 question এর কিছু একটা ছিল।
I was
And
gonna say, so I'm gonna be honest with you, Jerfa. That was fully my intention. I'm like, I'm gonna get her back. Like, আমি grade 6 থেকে I become very petty. I'm like, uje, আমার সাথে এটা করলে আমি এখন পলটা তোমাকে reply দিব। So when she did this, she's like, oh, she's not gonna choose between me and Meher. As in, she's not gonna choose me. Fine, I won't choose this bitch either. So a English friend-এর সাথে যখন আমি করছি, আমি আসলে, I'm gonna be honest, I made it a fair question. যে I think এরকম 20 questions ছিল, আমি half করে, half of them you knew the answer to, half of them she knew the answers to, like things that I clearly said to two of you, ঠিক আছে? But I knew যে there was একটা question যেটা none of you really knew the answer to, and that was like in my head the tiebreaker question, okay? And তো আমি কি করেছি জানো? The day the test, I was administering the test, lunch break-এ, সেই দিন সকালবেলায় আমি ওই ইংলিশ ফ্রেন্ডটাকে কথায় কথায় ওই কোয়েশ্চেনটার অ্যান্সারটা দিয়ে দিয়েছি because I wanted her to win. I wanted to show Jorifa her place and be like, দেখেছো, this person knows me better.
May I choose you? চলো আমরা
All
যাই
I no 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 আমি ওটাই বলতে গেছিলাম যে all I'm getting from this thing is how Jarafa literally went through the trenches just to keep me around. It was not to keep Numa, it was to keep me because Numa was out there playing games. I was just there.
No,
I was
guys,
just
you have
there.
to see it from a different light. That's how badly I wanted Jerifa in my life. Like, I was going through such extremes to be like, pick me, choose me, love me.
Mind games toxic একদম করে she was like pick me.
I think the reason is Jirujan, I was so desperate to do this is এই যে এত বছর ধরে when you become like excluded and এইসব এত friendship struggles হয়, when you finally find someone who you're like, I think this is like a good one, you know, you really want to hold on to that. And আগে I had a very like black and white mentality where it was either this person has to আমার মন মতো আমি যেভাবে চাই এই মানুষটাকে ফাংশন করতে exactly এভাবে হতে হবে or we can't be friends. So in my head I'm like, she has to cut off ties with Meher because I don't like Meher and she can't be friends with both her and me at the same time. So yeah, but Meher, the floor is yours.
Meanwhile, every single day, Numa is treating me like shit. School day, Numa is treating me like shit. She's like, ugh, rolling her eyes, not even looking at my direction, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, ki re bhai, ki korsi betar sathe, jai hok, whatever, whatever. And then at one point, I don't know what happens. One random day, Numa comes up to me. And she's like, Meher, can we talk? And then I was like,
I just want to say a little thing. It was exams there, I think Sheshir exam.
exams time.
Final exams. Yeah.
Final exam time. Grade 7 there. And she was like, Meher, can we talk? And I was like, yeah. And Numa, do you want to repeat what you said? Do you remember?
I think I say something along the lines of, let's call it a truce for the sake of
Jarafa.
Because at that point, I had come to the realization, you know what, like Jarafa is an important person in my life and I want to keep her there. But at the same time, I have to accept she will have people that I might not necessarily love, you know? And that's just what happens when you love a person. They're not going to be at them tomar perfect replica. So I'm like, when I accepted that, I'm like, you know what, শুধু শুধু জোরেফাকে এই crossfire রাখার দরকার নাই of just being like, you have to choose one or the other. And I'm like, let's make it easy for her. Just, I kid you not, I did it out of pure just respect and love for Jorfa, being like, I think she deserves to have like 2 friends in her life. And so I go to Meher and I'm like, Meher, let's call it a truce. ঠিক আছে? I don't like you, you don't like me. That's fine. We don't have to like each other. But for the sake of Jorfa, let's be friends so we can be one big happy family.
Turns out, fast forward to what, 6 years, 7 years, me and Numa are the same people with like different phones.
Different plots.
Jarafa has a type.
You know what? Numa কিন্তু কোনো শুধরায় নাই কোনো, like এখনো ওর possessive streakটা আছেই একদম।
Guys, it's a pattern. I'm telling you, this possessive should be like, I don't like people. Like, when I like someone, they are mine, you know?
And then I think grade 7 or pore, over the next few years, we just kind of, I don't know, melted into just being friends.
We had ups and downs or like phases when we lost touch or like, you know, ওরকম কথা হতো না, but it was never like, oh, this person isn't my friend anymore.
Yeah.
It was more like, oh, হ্যাঁ, ওর সাথে ওরকম এত কথা হয় না, or I'm not that close with her.
I think তোমার আমার একটা big fight হয়েছিল, like I think grade 12 or 11 এ. But let's keep that Golpo for another day, right?
You're right. That's Golpo for another day.
That's definitely Golpo for another day.
That's all for today's Golpo. If you're still listening, congrats. You now know too much, but definitely not enough. Until next time, it's all fun and Golpo until the shotti kicks in.
এখন মাইক অফ কর ভাই, আমার চা শেষ।